Joseph, a life shaped by God's purpose. The story of Joseph, found in Genesis chapters 37 to 50, is one of the most powerful examples in the Bible of how God works through suffering to fulfill his divine purpose. Joseph's life shows that God's plan cannot be stopped by betrayal, hardship, or injustice. Through Joseph, we learn that trials are often the pathway to destiny. Joseph was a young man chosen by God and blessed with prophetic dreams. These dreams reveal the future of leadership and influence, yet they also stirred jealousy among his brothers. Instead of celebrating God's hand upon his life, they rejected him, betrayed him, and sold him into slavery. Though Joseph was separated from his family and stripped of his freedom, God's purpose for his life remained unchanged. What people intended for harm, God was already turning towards good. In Egypt, Joseph served faithfully in the house of Potiphar. Even as a slave, his character and diligence caused him to prosper because the Lord was with him. Joseph's life teaches that faithfulness to God is not dependent on position but on obedience. When temptation came through Potiphar's wife, Joseph chose integrity over momentary pleasure. This decision led to false accusation and imprisonment, yet it also preserved his righteousness before God. Joseph's suffering was not a punishment but a preparation. While in prison, Joseph continued to trust God and use his God given gift to interpret dreams. Although he helped others, he was forgotten and left behind. Still, God had not forgotten him. At the appointed time, God lifted Joseph from the prison to the palace. In one moment, Joseph moved from being a prisoner to becoming the second in command over Egypt. This dramatic change reveals that God's timing is perfect and that delay doesn't mean Daniel. Joseph's greatest victory was not his promotion but his forgiveness. When he was reunited with his brothers, he chose mercy instead of revenge. He recognized that God had used his painful journey to save many lives. Joseph declared, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." This statement reflects a deep understanding of God's sovereignty and grace. In conclusion, the life of Joseph teaches believers that God is always at work, even in times of suffering. Betrayal cannot destroy God's plan, integrity will always be rewarded, and forgiveness brings healing and fulfillment. Joseph's story encourages us to trust God in every season, knowing that He is shaping our lives for a greater purpose.